Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to start this new series of friendships. You know that it has been a while actually that I've done this type of readings, and I wanted to start this week again. So your recommendations are always welcome. I'm going to start with these two that actually I had read for them in the past, I believe, as a friendship reading. And it's about BTS B and Jungkook, JK. So, what I think it's important for me to emphasize and remind people of is that this is not a shipping reading. So, if you are a ship, a shipper or a supporter of this ship, I please advise you not to watch the video because I do not do those kinds of readings. This is to see how their friendship or their connection is doing these days. It's nothing like romantic or that or of that sort. So now that I clarified this, I can continue. So I placed B on the left and JK on the right, and in the middle we have like the summary of the energies of the relationship. So we're going to start with B. Let's also remember or talk a bit about their astrological energies. Especially for me, it's important to focus on the sun and the moon, and they do have a lot of similarities when it comes to elements. For example, B is a sun in Capricorn and his moon is in Aries. And JK, he is a Virgo with his moon in Leo. So there's a lot of earth and also fire in their sun and moon. So this is very interesting. Actually, it allows people to understand themselves or each other better, to understand each other's point of view, um, or understand how the other is feeling or what they are showing. So yes, let's start with B. He got the Ace of Wands, the Four of Pentacles, and the Five of Wands. So this wouldn't be actually a V reading if there wasn't any wands suits in here. He always, at least since I always read for him, he always shows me wands. So this is a guy that he's very open about his desires and about his motivations and what he wants to do or what he wants to accomplish or what he is passionate about. And I think that this is not the first time that I got these cards for him when it comes to how he feels about JK. And I think that this has to do with some kind of project or idea of his that he would want or he wants so stubbornly to develop, to make it happen. And somehow this is a bit like it has a lot of oppositions. I don't know. I don't think it's JK the one that opposes or says like, oh no, I don't want to do this. But I think that probably there are a lot of people in the middle like advising him not to. But he definitely has a song or two songs that he is thinking about JK. He's thinking about that he wants to use JK's voice to somehow finish that project. And since he cannot have it, or they cannot like get to an agreement to do it, he's a bit like upset. Like, the ones cards always can represent, like fire, like, this very strong desire to do something, and like this very unstoppable desire to be like, okay, I want to initiate this, and somehow I'm feeling frustrated. The word is frustrated, not upset or angry. He's just frustrated because he is also a Capricorn, so he never takes no for an answer, in the sense that he probably is going to wait patiently until he gets what he wants. But what I'm seeing here is that there's a lot of opposition. So I don't know if maybe this is the people that advises them or that are in charge of. I don't think it's about production, but I think that they are like, oh no, your schedules are totally different. You cannot do this. Like, oh no, we need JK for something else. Or it's like they always remind him that no, he can choose someone else, but not JK. And he's like, no, I want JK. So yeah, but if we think about feelings, one thing that really surprises me actually is how the cards are really good at representing also their energies, because like I was mentioning earlier about their astrological placements, sun and moon. B is the only member of BTS that actually doesn't have that much water elements in their chart. And we all actually, some of us always has this, that we probably have a lot of this element in our birth charts, and some element is missing or we have very little. So in the case of B, it's about water, it's about emotions. So sometimes when I pull cards for him, the first like demonstration of interest in B's character is passion. So probably he's not very affectionate. It's like it's not that you can see feelings. When you ask how he feels about someone, he get the cards of wands. That it means that he is very protective, or that when he loves and he cares for someone, he's very passionate about that person or that subject or that bond. This is his way of expressing that he cares. So I think that since we have a lot of ones in here, I think that he also is very protective of his relationship with JK. Probably, like I mentioned in the beginning, um, I'm doing this reading because I love these two, but I'm aware of the shippers or the shipping situation, so this is why I make this clarification. And I think that he's also aware of that, because he has the Ace of Wands and he has the Four of Pentacles. So there's this sense of I have to protect my connection with JK, or I have to protect my projects with JK. So probably they do have a very rich bond. They do have like a very fluent and a very honest and very straightforward relationship, but probably you will not see it, because I see Tay holding on uh, to this connection, or to how he feels about JK very tight, like being a bit jealous almost about it, like not wanting to let people know how he feels. Of course that he does have feelings. He does have like a admiration, appreciation. There's a lot of compatibility also here, but in the sense that for Tay, it's important to protect these these feelings, or even his opinions, because there's no source here. So definitely if he feels something, he's not going to say anything. Or if he will not say anything to the public. There's something about them restricting themselves when it comes to how they feel about each other. I don't know if in the past, people had been like misinterpreting things, or there had been misunderstanding, or people making assumptions about their body language. Like I always tell you, sometimes people observe and try to analyze idols' body language too much. And they don't know the background of it. So we don't know. We all don't know. So I think that in the case of Tay, for me, Tay is very protective of his everything related to JK. But obviously the desire to protect, it's also because he cares. He probably has a true friend in JK, so he doesn't want to spoil things. He doesn't want to. Maybe this is why he doesn't talk that much about JK. Of he is very concise when it comes to his interactions, because for him their relationship is precious. And also there's a sense of him also wanting to defend himself and Jacob from others. There's this sense of, like, I don't know if people or outsiders have this desire to actually make them be competitors against each other, like to pin them against each other, because we have the Five of Wands. But I think that also Tay, it's very, very, like, opposite to that. He's been very stubborn to that, like, okay, I will not compete with him, I will not see things this way, doesn't matter how much you want to. Like, there are people that want to influence on him, like, oh, you have to be the best, or you have to be better, and he doesn't want to compete, especially with JK, because they have a very brotherly, like, kind of energy, where, you have codes, you have, like, values as well. And for Tay, it's all about him being in competition with himself, him being better than yesterday, him being a better version. It's not about watching what the others are doing, but somehow, this is a industry, and of course that people, and also, the people that manages them, or for publicity or stuff, when there's a kind of tension, or when there's, like, too much popularity between members, probably people would want to see a bit of drama, and he doesn't want to give that to the audience. He doesn't want to give them the pleasure to speculate about his relationship with JK. So in the case of JK, we have the Eight of Swords, the King of Cups, and the Ace of Cups, and this is very JK. All the cups, all the water elements that Tay didn't have. Well, JK has it all. JK has all the water. He's a very emotional guy. He's someone that probably in this period of his life he's allowing himself to be a bit more emotional, or a bit more sensitive, and allow himself to flow and follow his intuition and the way he feels. I think that also here we start with the Eight of Swords. For him, his relationship with Tay, from his perspective, has been something happened. I don't know how to, because this is not the first time that I see this energy, and I think that from Tay perspective, if they had a sort of argument or something happened in the past, he doesn't remember. Like, for him, it's past. But in the case of JK, there's a sense of, like, he probably moved on, but he doesn't forget. This is very Mars in Scorpio, he has Mars in Scorpio. So probably, since he's a very emotional person, something happened, or some things had been said to each other. And he doesn't forget that. Or I think that if we think about the Swords energy, the Eight of Swords, it also can be the influence of other people's gossiping, or getting in the middle of their relationship or friendship. I think that it has more to do because I don't see Tay saying something to JK to hurt him or to make him feel sad. I think that it's more like, like people's opinion coming and going. Like, oh, he said this, or, the he said, she said, or he said, situation. It's about, words that are in the air, or opinions that come and go. And since JK is someone that he's very emotional, he's a person that probably everything goes to his feelings, for him, he's sensitive. He's a sensitive guy. he probably still remembered, like there's something here, but probably it's also the pressure of the internet, because I always tell you guys, like, sometimes for me, the source also represents the media, the social media, the things we read online. So probably he found out something about a communication, something on the media, and he saw it himself, like no one showed it to him, like he saw this himself, and it made him feel a bit like with no way out, like, okay, like I have to restrict probably his interactions with Tay, or something happening there that actually made him feel a bit uncomfortable, about being expressive or being emotional or being too close to Tay. So I think that he still has that. For me, it's a past, something that happened in the past, but nevertheless, it's in the spread. So I have to talk about it. Um, then we have the king of yes, the king of cups and the ace of cups. So he's definitely in this very loving and emotional. He's feeling very emotional, but also very much in control of how he feels. Probably, when I see this eight of swords, probably he's really young. He was really young when he started, so he is like, he's learning to manage his emotions, how he feels, what he wants to do with himself, what's going on with him, and I think that if he looks a bit like resistant or a bit like closed off about being demonstrative or about being emotional or being close today or being a bit like expressive toward how he feels today, is because he doesn't want to be judged. And this is very Virgo of his. He probably doesn't want people to give people to talk or to make assumptions. I think that if he tried to maintain a certain distance, it's because of this, especially in front of camera. Then in their everyday life it's different. But there's something about him wanting to protect himself, or I think that for JK it's even deeper than his relationship with Tay. I think that this has to do with the entire perception that people have of JK. Actually, he wants to set himself free from what people expect of him to be, or when people had been like, they know about him or they had seen him grow, so they're like, oh, JK is this, or JK is like this, JK likes this, JK doesn't like that. So he's like trying to remove himself from what others perception of him are, like he wants to be something different. He wants like a sort of rebirth where he can be something different and he can also be more in touch with how he feels. um, I think that he's tired of people always trying to put a label on him or somehow put a sort of narrative, and he's tired of people telling him how he is when it comes to his personal traits, or his tastes even, like, oh, yes, because JK likes this, or JK doesn't like this, he doesn't want people to tell him how he is, or what he is about. He wants to find that out himself. And this is why he is in the skin of cups mode, because he's trying to somehow connect more with how he feels about his life, his life decisions, about his who he hangs out with, why he doesn't hang out with this. It's like he doesn't want to be like he doesn't want to be put in a category, like and I think that this, since we are talking about B, I think that his perception with B is this, he probably wants to go back to having this very loving and very affectionate relationship with B, but somehow he's still in the process of deciding. Probably he will maintain these moments and interactions for when they are not with the cameras around. But definitely he does have a lot of love and admiration for B. You know, we have the Ace of Cups here, so there's a lot of love. There's a lot of like a lot of warm feelings, you know, and he definitely feels like he can now be more open to show B that he cares, you know, and that he loves him. Um, Probably this has to do that if they don't get to see each other that much, you know, during this period of individual activities, probably he will start to recognize that he misses him, or that he will want to reach out to be a bit more, you know. Um, so then the relationship as an overall, we have the Page of Pentacles, the Ten of Cups, and the Chariot. So are beautiful cards, guys. Honestly, these guys are learning a lot about themselves. I think that this break, these individual activities are going to bring them so much maturity, and also the ability to enjoy life, you know, and also remember that they have each other, you know, that even though they are focusing right now on individual projects, they are more, they are, you know, closer than ever. You know, they are even more close as a bond. There's a lot of love here, there's a lot of understanding, there's a lot of appreciation, there's a lot of like, you know, when you are proud that the person that you cherish so much is doing well. I think that it has to do with this. You know, I think that they both wanted so much to do this, you know, to advance in their individual projects, that somehow here with the Chariot, I think that the fact that they're going to have the possibility to concentrate on what they want to do as individuals is also going to make their bond even stronger, and they are going to make a lot of advances also in their relationship, you know, because I think that at some point there had been a bit of, you know, a bit of frustration, you know, when it comes to the routine that they had. You know, probably in the past they couldn't rest very well, they couldn't get proper rest, or there were a lot of things that they were a bit moody about, that they were related to work or things like this. And somehow the relationship, you know, between not only them, but I think that the group was feeling a bit sensitive as well, because they were a bit tired, they were exhausted. You know, I talked about this in BTS readings that I done in the past. So I think that now that they are focusing on their individual projects and also what they want to do in an intimate way, you know, in the sense of their personal lives as well. You know, it's not just about work. They're actually like, you know, taking time to also pay attention to their personal life, you know, and what they want to accomplish in this sense. I think that this is what is bringing them closer, you know, the fact that you are seeing your member doing so well, you know, and there's a sense of like understanding and also feeling very proud of your members' achievements, you know, like watching them like getting this opportunity and doing it so great. They have a lot of admiration for each other, and they definitely want each other to succeed. So yes, guys, this is all I have for them. I hope that you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.